Do you guys see that? In the sky? It's a bird. It's a plane. It's chemicals. More and more chemicals. Isn't that exciting that that's how much this country hates us? I'm excited. I don't know about y'all, but I'm really stoked. That is a beautiful sunset, though. I hope they're not controlling that, too. Can they control the sun? I mean, they worship it, right? They do worship it. Hi. Welcome to my conspiracy corner. If you're not a conspiracy theorist, I don't know why you could watch my channel. Other than to just make fun of me and call me a moron. We do the same thing. Only the difference is we're not an asshole about it, you know? Because there's no point being an asshole. People don't know better. They'd rather live in a world that's laid out for them. You know, I was thinking about how, like, redundant my videos are, like, how I say the same thing over and over again, you know, bitching about technology, bitching about women, bitching about the education system, bitching about materialism, all that jizzy jazz. But, you know, everybody else in society is redundant. So I don't know why I am insecure about it, because this is seriously what everybody does all day, okay? They do podcasts, they do live streams, and, you know, I understand that there's a place for all that. It's just not my thing. So I know that I complain about it. It just bores me. It just bores me. I watch my content because my content is the best content, okay? And I'm gonna make art that I like. I'm not gonna make art for other people. I'm gonna make art for people like me. You know? That's just logical. It's like wearing an outfit that makes you really, really uncomfortable, but other people think that you look good in it. But all day, you're mad at yourself for wearing these skinny jeans with these tiny ass pockets. You can't even keep a dime in a pair of skinny jeans in those pockets, okay? So it's like, why are you dressing for other people? Why are you doing anything for other people? Unless it's out of the goodness of your heart and you legit want to do it. Then it's just ego. Like, I'm extremely motivated, which I think is why I've had to do all these things to, like, decrease my motivation. I mean, in case you can't tell, I have more videos on YouTube than literally anybody on YouTube. So, I'm very, very motivated to do what I'm doing. So if you don't see me, it's because I'm engaging in marijuana-related activities, okay? But haven't done that as of late. Mainly because I'd rather be close to God. And if that's a crutch, then I don't want it in my life. that doesn't make it a sin, and that doesn't make it wrong, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to come down on other people for engaging in that activity because of what I just said, okay? Like, I think that we need to get away from this idea that, like, certain things are sinful, because, number one, the kinds of people that sin a lot, and what I mean by that is, you know, commit very, like, degenerate acts, you know, sexual acts, you know, they drink too much, they smoke too much, whatever it is. It's like they're not going to listen to somebody that is telling them that that's a sin, they're going to burn in hell. You know, they don't care. In fact, that's probably just going to encourage them to keep on doing it, and they're going to do it even more. That's why I don't try to, like, get people to sober up or anything, because I know from my own personal experience it doesn't work like that. You have to come to that conclusion on your own, or it won't mean anything. But I think it's also dangerous for, like, Christians and God people in general to be told that what they're engaging in is sinful, because then they're just going to feel guilty about it, and then they're going to forget that God will forgive them. So what we need to do is we need to encourage people to get closer to God, rather than tell people you need to get clean and you need to stop doing this and you can't watch porn anymore because porn is demonic. No, fuck that. Just tell them to read the Bible, and the Bible will change them. Let God do the work. Stop trying to convince them that they need to do the work, because they won't do it. And if they do anything, it's going to be half-assed, or they're not going to understand. So I was just talking to this girl tonight. You know, we're both, like, very, very similar conspiracy theorists. We both used to smoke bags and bags and bags of weed. We've been doing it for a long ass time, okay? But neither one of us needs it anymore, because we know that it hinders different things that we're trying to accomplish. So why would I do something that's gonna, like, slow me down in any kind of way, you know? I mean, I'll totally admit though, my brain goes like 100 miles a minute, so sometimes it's nice to just chillax, get a little stoned. But it's like, at the next day I feel depressed, or I don't do what I said I was gonna do, then it's not worth it. It's not worth it just to be high for like a few hours, or like 6 to 8 hours considering the potency of this marijuana. But, you know, I just keep going to church, and I keep praying, and I keep reading the scripture, and I just don't want to smoke weed. And so, you know, people that I know that are like hardcore potheads, and they make fun of me because I don't want to do that. But they're jealous of me. They're jealous of the fact that I don't have to do that as some sort of coping mechanism. You know, Ronit doesn't do that. Brad doesn't do that. They both get high every day, but, like, they don't feel the need to come down on me because I don't want to get high with them. And the reason why they don't do that is because they're more of the spirit. People that are not of the spirit are not going to understand wanting to better yourself. They're not going to understand wanting to get closer to God. Now, I will say this about pot, like, I used to smoke a bowl and drive to work, and at the time I was living about 45 minutes from my job. And I would be so high, but I would just talk to God the whole way to work. It's the best part of my day. And not just because I was high, but because I was like reaching out. So if you're doing that to seek, I don't think it's a bad thing, but unfortunately I don't see people doing that. Like, there is not one pothead I know that smokes weed and reads the scripture, okay? There's not one pothead I know that is like, I'm gonna evaluate my life and like figure out what I need to do next. And you know, it's like they smoke and then they watch TV. They smoke and they get on TikTok, or well, I really don't know what else they do, because at this point, like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much it. It's just the phones, the TVs. Maybe they play video games. I don't know. That's got to be really boring. It's got to be so lame to live a life like that. And I think that boring ass people have no choice but to make fun of somebody whose life is more interesting. So I get the same kind of reaction whenever I tell people I don't have a smartphone, or you know, they just happen to see the flip phone. And they make fun of me because they don't think it's even remotely possible to live without a smartphone. I'm that anomaly, baby. I'm that anomaly.